0.86 shillings in the same period last year, while revenues rose to 1.37 billion shillings from 1.26 billion a year ago. Now, earnings from Kenya's main agriculture exports and tea and coffee rose last year's, buoyed by a weak shilling. Now, still on the Kenyan shilling, where it halted its losing streak to close steady against the dollar on Thursday, but traders expected it to remain under pressure in coming days, while stocks were dragged down by dips in Safaricom and Kenya Airways shares. And some good news now. Brent crude futures held steady today at $106 per barrel on Friday, with the impact of slowing global economic growth, particularly tempered by potential supply disruptions in the Middle East. And our new draft of Nigeria's long-delayed oil bill, whose passage is needed to unlock billions of dollars of stalled investment into exploration and production, will be finalized this week. Now, Nigeria's weakening growth outlook is making it difficult for the central bank to raise interest rates. The country's deputy central bank governor announced this afternoon that the bank held rates for the fourth time in a row this week. And now moving on to matters making headlines locally. Having been the subject of criticism over its unpopular monthly price adjustment, the Energy Regulatory Commission has today come out to react to the contaminated fuel saga, saying the Commission was looking into the matter. This emerged during the launch of a campaign by the Commission to rebuild confidence in its service delivery.
In a bid to address energy sector issues, Energy Regulatory Commission has launched the Citizen Service Delivery Charter. The charter is expected to enhance quality of service, promote transparency and accountability. ERC's Director General Kaburu Murisha said the aim of the Commission is to generate public satisfaction and harmony among consumers.
We are very serious about this, and that's one of the reasons that we want people to know that when you want to do this business, we are not stopping anybody from doing business of refilling, but do it correctly, so that you follow the standards. We have a Kenya standard on how to do a refilling plant, what the requirements are, where it should be situated.
The roadshow, which was flagged off today, is expected to cover Athi River and parts of Kiambu County. However, issues to do with the recent saga on fuel contamination, fuel price formula and illegal LPG refilling stations were hard to void.
Something happened that after pumping the products, they found that some boundary products were not meeting the correct standards required for the Kenyan super petrol, and that's why KPC separated out that amount, and it had to be loaded into trucks and taken to the storage of the importing company. The amounts involved are not amounts which would cause shortages, so we are saying that there is no cause for alarm. People should not try to panic thinking that there is a shortage which will happen. It is something which happened in the course of operation. The good thing is that they were able to find this portion which could not meet the standards.
The Commission said it is working closely with law enforcers in an effort to protect consumers from unscrupulous traders.
And our global emergency power generator Aggreko is set to open a depot in Kenya this afternoon. Now, earlier on today, I talked to Aggreko's Group Chief Executive Officer Rupert Soames, who is in the country, on the rationale behind Aggreko's heightened presence in Kenya, as well as his take on the country's power cost regime. Now, here's how it went.
Kenya is blessed by very rich natural resources in terms of renewable energy, in particular hydro. In common with all forms of renewable energy, hydro is variable, and you get variations in the output from the hydro dam, and typically you get 4 or 5 years where everything's hunky-dory and you've got plenty of power, and then you'll get a year, 18 months of no rain, and the output from the hydro dams drop. And at those points it makes sense to bring in some extra generating capacity just to top up your generating capacity until the rains come. And this is now the second time we've been back to Kenya. We were here in 2001, we came back in 2007 when the rains failed, and we varied. Sometimes KenGen, our customer, take a lot of power, and sometimes they take less. So we've been up to 300 megawatts, we're now down to about 120 megawatts. And the lesson, I think, of almost every country is that it's better to have expensive electricity than no electricity. Because no electricity destroys lives, it destroys education, it holds back the economy, it reduces tax revenues, and it's much more expensive not to have the power than to have it.
Well, as you heard, it's better to have expensive power than not have power at all. Time to look at how your money is doing at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. As we speak now, the day's top gainers: Crown Badger up 4.81%, selling at 27 shillings and 25 cents. Trans-Century comes closer, up 4%, selling at 26 shillings. Kapchorwa Tea up 3.33%, and you can buy it at 124 shillings, while Sasini Tea, who's just reported losses, down 2.51, selling at 12 shillings and 25 cents. Access Kenya Group closes that bit for us, up 2.20%. to trade at 4 shillings and 65 cents. Now, a quick look at the day's top losers now. And Olympia Capital Holdings is down 5.13%, selling at 3 shillings and 70 cents, while Jubilee Holdings down 3.78%, and you can buy it at 178 shillings. Housing Finance Corporation down 3.35, selling at 15 shillings and 85 cents, while NIC Bank is down 2.86, trading at 34 shillings. Kenya Airways down 2.78, and you can buy it at 15 shillings and 75 cents. A look at the Kenya FTSE 15 index now. We are down 0.04%, valued at 104.29, while the FTSE 25 index is down 0.01, and it's valued at 106.88. A look at all shares traded currently as we speak: 78.79. The 20-share index down from the highest we had in 9 months, which recorded 3,700 points. Now we are doing 3,668.21 points. Look at market capitalization now, and we stand at 1,008.64. Total shares traded as we speak: 15 million shares, 795,200 traded currently. Equity turnover stands at 280 million, 137,539, while the total deals traded as at 2 o'clock this afternoon is 1,423. Another quick look at the day's top gainers again. At the topmost level, we have Crown Badger up 4.81. Trans-Century up 4.00, and Kapchorwa Tea up 3.33%. Sasini Tea up 2.51, while Access Kenya Group up 2.20. The day's top losers again: Olympia Holdings down 5.13, Jubilee Holdings down 3.78, Housing Finance Corporation is doing 3.35, while NIC Bank is down 2.86. Kenya Airways closes up for us down 2.78. Of course, being a live show, we will be giving you live market update as they stream in, because this is indeed your home of business. Now, later on this show, we'll be talking everything about a business club. And have you heard about a business club? David Thuku from Barclays Bank will be giving us details. That and much more coming up on the other side of the break.
There's so much to see on GoTV. Wow. Catch all the best sporting action, your family's favorites, nature's best, and all the fun and the games. It's good times.
Are you ready for the journey now?
You won't want to miss a thing.
Wow.
Go for digital quality local and international channels at an affordable price with easy installation.
GoTV is now available at a reduced price of 5,500. GoTV decoder is DVB T2 compliant. Offer valid while stocks last. Terms and conditions apply.
Go, go, go! GoTV!
At last, an investment group account for people with big ideas. For investment groups with big ideas, now there is the Fusion Group account from Consolidated Bank. Open your account today and enjoy no monthly charges, attractive interest rates and savings, loans up to 3 times the group savings at attractive interest rates, free internet banking, and membership to the bank's business club. Terms and conditions apply.
Consolidated Bank, growing with you.
For more than 165 years now, Old Mutual has helped people invest to secure their future. With this experience comes much wisdom. The wisdom to enable you to do great things.
A great day starts with a Pampers night. A great day starts with a Pampers night.
Because babies sleep better in Pampers. Pampers has a unique extra dry layer that absorbs wetness and distributes it evenly, keeping your baby up to 5 times drier all night long. For a great day. 1 Pampers equals 1 dry night. Endorsed by the Kenya Pediatric Association.
Welcome back. As promised earlier, we will be talking about bank or business clubs per se. I wanted to say Barclays Bank Business Club because I'm joined by David Thuku from Barclays Bank. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
What exactly is a business club? And I think this time I should say Barclays Business Club because you're from Barclays.
Yes. Thank you very much. When you talk of a club, there's sometimes a tendency to think of some elitist, sort of high-profile club where it's only for a select few.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope in the course of our discussion this afternoon we'll demystify that so that we have it clear that the Barclays Business Club
mm-hmm.
is actually for people like you and I. It's for ordinary people. It's not for some aristocratic person
mm-hmm.
out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in a nutshell, the Barclays Business Club is a community of business people, mm-hmm. businessmen and women, Kenyan businessmen and women,
mm-hmm.
who have one common thing. They want to grow their businesses. And we in Barclays realize that for these people to grow, then we need to work in partnership, to tap into our capacity, to tap into our capability,
yes.
and work with them in a certain number of initiatives that helps them grow.
Mm-hmm.
The small and medium enterprises being the key economic drivers of our Kenyan economy,
mm-hmm.
we realize that importance.
Mm-hmm.
So we step into that loop and work with these people to make their businesses grow. So the
mm-hmm.
the Barclays Business Club is an ordinary club
mm-hmm.
for ordinary people within
mm-hmm.
Barclays
mm-hmm.
who have an objective of having their businesses grow. And we work together jointly to realize that objective.
What exactly happens in a Barclays Business Club?
Well, like any club has specific benefits that accrue to members of that club.
Mm-hmm.
And within this club, there are
mm-hmm.
specific benefits that accrue to the members.
Mm-hmm.
We work together in a number of things, and I'll just give you the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the most popular things that our members enjoy
mm-hmm.
is in terms of being provided with awareness. We run business seminars for our members. In these business seminars, we bring in various people to expose our business club members to various business concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I've said, this is a member from very different profiles. There are specific business skills that you need to run a business.
Mm-hmm.
Not all people within the small and medium term enterprises have those skills. So within the seminars, we facilitate provision of those skills.
Mm-hmm.
So business seminars is one thing that we do, and we do that on a quarterly basis. We run business seminars.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing for members is that you have physical premises which they use. We have club suites within some of our branches,
mm-hmm.
which are exclusive to these business club members.
Mm-hmm.
A club always brings an element of exclusivity.
Yes.
So there is business club suites that these members use. The very popular one is the business trips that we do, both locally and internationally. And we do that for a variety of reasons, which I'm sure we'll cover at some point within this show.
Now, David, you've just talked about what exactly you do and you empower these people. But to a listener, they may think it's just another opportunity to get trained or to get in this club where I get these opportunities. Why would I, as a business person, want to come and say, hey, can I join this club? What are the direct benefits for being part of this?
Very good, Bonnie. As I said, the main objective behind setting up this club is to grow with these people.
Yes.
Is to grow with these members. Why would you join the club? Because you are going to grow in the following ways. How does business grow? First, there is identification of business opportunities. How do you spot business opportunities? We facilitate challenging these people to business practices, both locally and internationally. So when you go for an international trip, for example, there are business practices that are far more advanced in some of the economies that we visit. So when you get exposed to that, you get your mental challenge into how do I spot business opportunities even where none seem to exist.
True.
The other thing that we consciously do is that, as I've said, the profile is very diverse. Within there will be members who will be feeling small, that possibly I don't have
my business is too small.
My business is too small, I don't even need to be in this club. That person needs to be there, because one of the things we do is sort of blow up your perspective of thinking, blow up your self-perception of who you are as a business person and what's the scope of that you can be able to achieve. Nobody is small, no business is small. Any business started as a small nucleus idea in the mind of somebody.
Now, David, let's talk about this mental shift. I'm sure you've done several trips and you just come back from Israel, right?
Yes.
What is the difference between probably Kenyan businessmen and other businessmen from other areas that you take these trips to in terms of these mental shifts? How do we view our businesses?
Very, very, very good question. And one thing that you possibly, Bonnie, has observed about us as Kenyans is that we have a tendency to view ourselves small, to position ourselves small.
Yes.
And sometimes you ask a business person like Bonnie, what do you do?
Yes.
And you say, I just sell XYZ.
Yes. I just sell it.
Or I just sell, or I'm just in the Juakali, or I just do some Juakali business. Now, pose the same question to some American entrepreneur. The reactions or the answers you get are totally diverse. Now, when you put the Kenyan businessman alongside the other international business person, you actually give them the opportunity to actually see, I actually undersell myself. And in some of these sessions, we actually facilitate sessions within those markets where we sit together with business people from those markets, and we go through sessions that actually expose the kind of business thinking, the kind of business practices. Specifically, the trip you alluded to that we've just come from Israel.
Yes.
There are some very insightful moments we had there. As you know, Israel is a desert. Very small country, less than 20,000 square feet. Square kilometers. It's complete desert. Very little amount of rain. Now, Kenya, with our over 367,000 square kilometers, with so much rain that is flooding us, the amount of agricultural productivity we have in Israel is nowhere comparable to what we have in Kenya. If you look at the tourism sector in Israel, for example, the amount of revenue that generates for them and the amount of revenue tourism generates for us, business people see the scope of doing things differently, and you have the paradigm shift. Indeed, there are people we go with on these business trips. Like on the Israel trip, there are people who actually said, when I go back to Kenya, I'm actually going into farming. And you have actually established contacts that you'll actually facilitate that kind of farming. Because there is use of advanced technology, there is use of efficient water management systems, that if you play back in your business in Kenya, then you actually start moving yourself to the next level.
Now, David, I think also still talking about the mental shift in Kenyan business people, operating in an environment where probably there are high interest rates, it's a regulatory environment where setting up a business is really tough. And these business clubs are really targeting entrepreneurs, people who are setting up their own businesses, as opposed to the majority who are employed. Could this be some of the reasons that probably Kenyan businessmen cannot sell themselves, and not just here but also internationally?
To some extent, yes. Yes, that could be one of the reasons why people view themselves that way. But the other thing that I think I should point out here is that business challenges are universal. Every business person faces challenges, whether you are in the US, the UK, or any of these destinations. And that's one of the things that you also try to expose to the members, that sitting in Kenya, you may be thinking that your environment is so hostile, that the market circumstances are so difficult. But then you go to another market and see,
it's even worse.
It's even worse. They are dealing with scenarios which you are not dealing with at home. You start looking at opportunities where previously you thought those were actually challenges. And let's face it, every business has challenges. And that's the realization that we try to expose our members to. Whether it's an advanced economy, everybody has the specific circumstances that you are running through at that particular point in time. And that gives them the encouragement that, hey, hang on, I thought I was in difficult circumstances. I thought it was difficult to produce agricultural produce in Kenya, and I can actually triple what I'm doing, or I can make it tenfold what I'm doing.
Now, looking at, so I've joined your business club, all right? You've set all this calendar laid out for your members. What exactly is there in store for someone joining a club? What do they achieve if they take this trip? What exactly is the itinerary like?
The itinerary is quite diverse, but specifically we do three things. We have local events, which are basically networking events that achieve one thing that many businesses sometimes find a challenge, blending business and pleasure. Because you work very hard, you need some time to cool off and re-energize. Because all play, or is it all work?
Whichever way. Makes Jack a really dull boy.
So we believe we have got the winning recipe. We've got the recipe that combines that pretty well. And it's particularly so with our Kenyan business people. Sometimes we forget ourselves as business people. We work, but we never find time for pleasure.
Yes.
So if you come to us, we will show you how to blend those two as one thing. The other thing that you'll be assured is that once you join, business is about networking. We'll give you networking opportunities, not just amongst the business club members, but among your counterparts, both locally and internationally. Because once you go to an international destination, these trips, each of these trips has a theme. We go to a specific sector of the economy, where we assemble people from that sector, from that economy.
So
and
it's
we
not
meet.
everyone.
It's not just everyone. It's not just a free flow. They are very specifically targeted visits. So you'll meet with people of similar thinking. So you'll do your networking with those people. You'll also actually get sourcing opportunities for customers and for raw materials, if it's raw materials that you want to get from those markets. The other thing, as I said, is that once you join us, we'll understand at what bit of the business you are in. Are you starting off? Are you in the middle? Are you in a growth, or are you in a state where you actually need to change your paradigm? All that, we will do that, because part of the offering, I've not actually given you the full list of benefits, but part of the offering is relationship management for our members. You actually work with a relationship manager. Every business club member has a specific relationship manager attached to them. And that relationship manager understands which part of the process you are in within the business cycle. Then they can work together so that you reap maximum benefit from being a member of the club. The other thing that I should also maybe add here is that we also have a trade fair. We also had an annual trade fair that we do at the Sarit Center for our members, where you actually come and showcase your merchandise, you showcase your services.
At a fee, or is it free of charge?
It's free of charge for our members. So we bring you together and we expose you to the market, and then you can sell your merchandise.
Now, very lastly, David, before we go to looking at the market updates, as the concept of business clubs is fast growing in emerging markets and not just in Kenya. And there are different institutions, banks and others that are setting up such for their customers. What value does a member of Barclays business club get as opposed to probably being in another organization?
As I said, if I use the word that we've established a winning recipe here, I can speak that with confidence, without fear of contradiction, that, that as Barclays we have the winning recipe. One of the biggest advantages of being part of a global institution is that within each of these destinations we've got our footing there, we've got our presence there. So when you are going to China, or when you are going to India, or when you are going to South Korea, we are not going to a place where we are groping in the dark. We already have our footing in there. So when you are specifically dealing with people, you know exactly that you are dealing with somebody who knows that market in and out. Because if you come to me in Barclays, Kenya, I know Kenya because I'm Kenyan. When I go to my colleague in India, he knows India because he's Indian.
So just the global nature of Barclays.
The global nature of Barclays connects our clients and their customers out there. The other thing is that within locally now for the seminars and the other stuff that we do here, we know the market. We know the SME sector. So it's very easy for us to connect the customer with that growth path.
Well, interesting, David. My director tells me you really have to end now. But there you have it. If you've been wondering about a business club, now you know you should be part of whichever your sector falls under. Get a business club out there and join and try to reap the benefits of a business club. That has been KTN Financial Markets Live on the day that Crown Baja was the top gainer, up 4.81% to sell at 27.25 shillings. This has been indeed your home of business, KTN Financial Markets Live. Now do join us for later subsequent bulletins. We'll give you headlines of all the business news making news around the world, both locally and also globally on KTN Business Today. My name is Boni Tunya. Do have a lovely weekend.